looking down and all I see. That's exactly what I hear Vora sing right now, because
if there was a map
somebody.
that I expected to be a beam clash when it came to, you know, the Swiss stage of this Challengers event, after everything we've been through, and after everything these two teams have been through, this match, this feels like that DBC beam clash. Two teams where this is undeniably a stomping ground for the both of them, with compositions that really get to boast all of these players' individual best features. Mind, neither of these teams have really justifiably been challenged so far here. Will they this map?
I know that it can use somebody. Sorry, sorry, man. I really hear Vora right now. Vora is still singing his sweet tones to me right now. He needs the help. He could use somebody right now, as Kane on the front side able to pick up the one. It is going to be Ion picking up 7. And hey, TSM, they need somebody right now. It is Vora. He's always been around. Let's see if he can pick up a couple of frags here around the corner. It is low HP players, but not exactly super possible here. 5v2, making a 5v1. Recoil should be shocked here. He's already been discovered here by the spy cam. Dart has a couple of targets on the other side, but he's done and dusted. Envy, big start.
Yeah, I mean, out the gate, immediate breach onto that A main, immediate win of the fight, spiral into advantage. Envy likes doing that on this attack round. They're gonna get a little ahead of themselves with Kane and Eggster in particular, just opening themselves up more often than everyone else does. Poppin and Eggster are the headlines for me on this map. Their synergy here is undeniable, particularly on the defense, but I'm excited to see how they open sights up on this attack. With Eggster's ability to get in with this dimensional drift and the ubiquity that Poppin boasts when it comes to releasing util on any part of the map, anytime, it's a deadly combination that leaves map control to the wayside in favor of raw advantage.
For this round, you don't really see too much of that proactivity. Again, I love the fact that Envy here, respecting all of this space from TSM, still working at that buddy system. Of course, you just kind of have to expect it with the pistols. But for this TSM team, again, still going to be very intrigued on how those main options are going to look out right now, how that early information grab is going to go out for them, because it's not like they had much of a battle in that last round. It's not like they can have much of a battle in this round. Poppin. He is able to pick up one, Inspire all the way over towards that mid side. Is able to pick up another one. So this round should, quote unquote, be chalked. And indeed it is.
Spike planted.
No more. Yippee.
I walk into this composition for TSM in particular with this double sentinel for Recoil in 7. That's the biggest standout for this defense for me, obviously, when it comes to 7's proactivity on top of this Gravnet, as we've gotten to see previously with that buff to her part of the kit. Recoil on this Vice has had to stay quite static on the B site more often than not. I'm wondering if they're going to let him start wandering through market swings or just getting a little more aggressive and proactive when that's been what wins a lot more fights against Envy, more often than not. Kane, yeah, already getting ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could talk about the util effectiveness here, the Sentinels, but even the players that you want to roam right now, not able to kind of catch up. Sim getting exposed immediately. Now it's all just Envy once again. Inspired, just trying to push the situation 2 rounds in a row now where he pushes that mid side. Could be some conditioning at this point. He could continue to do so, continue to keep showing that look. But TSM, down, of course, to the 2 rifles. They've already lost out on 2 rounds. This is a TSM save. Envy, already got to give it up to the fact that they keep pushing away Recoil. They keep pushing away these Sentinels from these pivotal spots by the time they even get into sight. This time, it was a little bit quicker, to say the very least. Extremely overwhelming. Sim not able to plant himself for the rounds. We're going to continue to see this now. It is, again, how can TSM kind of plant themselves? How can they allow 7 to sort of unlock himself, to sort of lurk around a bit in whatever choke point he's going for? That's if, of course, that stopping power from the Sentinel can happen for the rotations to come in. Rotations are a little bit more difficult here for this composition of TSM. So again, they're going to need the stopping power. They're going to need just the time.
And that's a great reason for Envy to continue pushing Ascent the same way they always do. Every team other than them, their weak point when it comes to this map has been the mid-swing, has been the market hold, has been this choke that does divide this map that would prevent TSM from rotating properly and effectively. So if you're able to split this as effectively as Envy is consistently, or just barrel it down main when you have the gun advantage this time, why not? Inspire solo doloing it for a 1v2.
Inspire's been let off the leash, to say the least. We're seeing, oh my goodness, speaking of let off the leash, oh my goodness, Vora. Burst through the smoke. I don't, why, how? Okay, cool. He ends up picking up 2 and the round's possible.
Still though, Envy finds so many strengths, particularly on the defense a little more often, but they are going to be cashing in on that market choke very often. cainzera getting that early advantage here in the follow-up, but pop in the 1v2. The spray hold is almost good to do it all himself. Now Recoil stands alone to try to recover this round.
Has a little bit of utility, but gonna be nullified for now. Ion got the flash in. Oh, what? Oh my goodness, Recoil fully flashed. Bullets flying in his direction. That's the only thing he can see on his screen. He follows the slivers of silver on his screen, and he's able to get the frag, and he's able to win the round.
I am stunned by Recoil's ability to win that isolated fight. After recovery was necessary, Vora go in hero mode to drag that round back into favor. And then TSM, they still slow it back down. They still walk into that pop and hold with open arms. And yet Recoil, raw gumption, holding out that first round of TSMs. Envy already getting aggressive on top of it. cainzera, he's just gonna go, instead of 0 to 100, he's just going 0 to 200 GMD. At least silences that, but extra's already in.
For all I know, he was already at 100. Here comes Recoil and Sim able to pull up one. Finally, Sim coming alive a little bit. Needs another one to really be the spark plug. Misses out on the drone, needs to run away. Spray's not gonna come in. Recoil unknown for now. Inspire's not gonna push the situation. Inspire's gonna be locked into sight here, but that's huge for Inspire. And now it's all on Sim. What is this peek from Sim? Sim able to make it happen, and he's cutting down on time. He has time to deal with Poppin. He's seen the armor poppin', surely. Did he not? Did he not? No, apparently not. No. Poppin from behind. Dice is going to be able to pick up Sim, and that is, of course, the W.
My quiver is never full.
The ladder of kills protruding from that round as its focal point. Envy managed to, once again, just win off of raw advantage despite that Steel Garden. Envy's proactivity that they're able to manifest with said advantage is too much for them to bear. Do appreciate Sim trying to get on top of said Steel Garden to make something of it. It almost turns that into a 1v2 he can win, but far too much to check. So a necessary timeout called from TSM as they need to manage their resources a lot more consistently and effectively. Players all too often getting handed the short end of the stick when it comes to these pushes. Envy easily able to overwhelm in a vacuum and thus take the rounds from there pretty easily and handily.
You say that, again, it is some crazy factors here still leading to TSM still pulling away here. That early rotation from Sim, this spot here, for him to be alongside GMD this early on for both of these players was already a good call for TSM. So it's not like they don't have, quote unquote, the right idea. Once again, it seems like a bit of a deja vu from the last map. But again, Envy, they are the ones starting off hot. They are the ones getting the opening frags. They are the ones picking up the spots in the early round that they want. TSM, no matter what they do in the late round, again, it has to be a strong start against this Envy team, against such a volatile aimer of a team like Envy. TSM, they're looking to push the situation a little bit, to say the least. 2 bursting out over towards B main, 2 over towards mid, and it's a sandwich. Sim, max on that sandwich, and it is going to be 2 frags coming out for the ulti. Oh, Exer Does pop out of the smoke, does pick down GMD, but mid advantage, all for TSM, and Sim has exactly what he needs for this situation. Picks up the headshot onto one, Exter takes him down, but that's no problem. TSM has 3 to deal with, and now could isolate a one-on-one. Indeed, they do. Kane 1-on-3.
The playbook drained after Sim jumps into main. Everybody shut up, my show is on. Blades for 3. Alrighty.
Turn me out.
Let's see what Kane can do here. First swing is solid, but 7 survives it. So at the end of the day, again, the proactivity manifests in a win for TSM. Sim definitely feeling a lot better already in this map than he was in the previous one on this far more active and consistent jet that he gets to play. That ultimate, so gorgeous. Wow. I mean, that is tremendous from him to net this round pretty easily. And then Vora, great sense on that TP from Extra, immediately understanding the new rotation that Envy was going for to get some semblance of map control back, and they shut it down immediately. That's terrific sense from TSM.
This round, Envy, they have to be wary of that early pressure from TSM. Again, it was a rare look from TSM in the last round, but Envy doesn't know that. It worked, and that's all that matters. Sim is indeed continuing that quote-unquote conditioning here, staying on that front line, making sure Envy is pulling out utility to make their way into B main. But here comes the take. It is going to be the Yoru in the back, but Exter gets taken down immediately, and Sim still takes down Kane. And that is going to be a clear out of B main. Teo ultimate comes in. This is a reset here for Envy, but it's not like they don't have a chance. They still have a little bit of utility here. Still have an ability to lock away a line of sight, but they need to go somewhere where it is just simple for them to take. Feels like A is that simpler spot.
It always is for the exec that Envy has, especially when you don't have either of your duelists to open this lane up.
30 seconds left.
Still gonna plan Inspire here, though. The confidence that they continue to have in these individual players, it's simultaneously admirable and terrifying in the environment that continues to grow. The salvos to immediately force Envy forward here, and now Inspire really is on this island up in mid. Smoke out, GMD on top of it. Timing will get the better of him, and a rifle in the hands of Envy with 10 seconds to go as they make it onto site. Recoil has to duke it out here, but the spike is going to safely get planted as Ion provides the cover fire and the proper swing. Envy in a 2v2, 3v2.
What a TP. Ion gives himself a chance. There's a headshot from Poppin. Now it's a dance for the 1-on-2. And what a lineup there for Ion. The chance was there, but it does not happen. TSM is going to be able to pick up a third, but what great play there from Envy. Playing around the utility of Ion. Ion had no smokes. When they started that take there, they wait for his first smoke to recover. They fake the smoke over towards A main. Then they take up Cat. They wait for his smoke to pop over once again. It's just the tree pop might have just been that little bit too late. That might have been a little bit too staggered. But even then, Envy give themselves yet another chance. Always a fighting chance with this Envy team. But here comes TSM, still going aggressive over towards B main. But they have company.
Launching all their creds at the problem yet again here. And they do have this Hunter's Fury that they can get aggressive with. 7, early hold for 2. Sim even earlier with the operator now. And Poppin trying to go hunting with what's left of TSM on this hold for the site, but he can't get a thing done. It's Extra who's got to get on top of it now. He does flash in for 1 on himself, and Sim is still very far forward on this. Looks like Poppin's going to try and get active with it. And he almost does, but the paranoia coming over to him now. It's got to be cooked from here. TSM, once again, fight Envy on their footing and will win. We're tied up at 4.
Okay. Oh, fun attempt. Fun attempt there from TSM over towards B main, and they already grind out 3 by the time they're done. 7. It's shocking that we haven't said this guy's name more. I mean, hey, thankfully they got the new young gun who is somehow the IGL for this team. Vora, very, very impressed with what I'm seeing. But, yeah, no, 7. Again, he has been the one to kind of been on top of realistically the whole league. I mean, hell, he's #1 in rating, #1 in percentage, #1 in terms of ADR for all supports in the league. And again, 7 now showing some colors, now showing some signs of life. TSM waking up a bit.
Biggest presence we've seen up on the mid-shear in a while, and it's for a reason. TSM have gotten a lot more aggressive on the hold with it. That's a little ballsy, Sim. With the shear in tow, it looks like Envy are still going to try and make some headway on this. Kane's got to get mega active on the B approach, but with this proper crunch, recoil, gritty pressure, that's going to be him finally done.
1v3. 7's fully known. But it's not exactly impossible. That's for dang sure. 7 still has a little bit of util. Still has the ultimate. Has the ability to win this type of round, but the setup here for Envy is sort of exactly what you want. But I think 7 trying to isolate a one-on-one here, trying to be in the right angle for when this smoke drops here for him to potentially find one. He's going to be the jet right alongside Ion, and Ion is going to be the one to take away the frag. Good reply here from Envy. But like you said, that overconfidence coming in a little bit here for TSM. That confidence is something that we were worried about here for Envy, but TSM, that's just old, really, really old habits coming into play for players like Sim.
It's so true. And at the end of the day, they're really trying to play protect the president to let recoil last a little longer on the B main swing as well. Getting smoked out so that GMD is left open on this on market. It starts to really restrict TSM, and that's what this Envy attack is going for. That's why you sent so much of a stack up mid, so that you could fight it out with whoever is going to try and condense on top of that smoke. And it ended up being the 2-for-2 that turns into the full-blown B take that Envy can wildly go for now. They'll head back over here again via main, where TSM have a little more setup on the site this time. GMD holding it down on the lane, actually. Meanwhile, you got Vora ready for rotating wherever he needs to go.
GMD is so confident. Lets the flash go by, knows that nobody's coming in, and he still holds his line of sight. Is able to get one out of it. This is basically full control here on the B site for Envy, but look out here, Recoil. He's been the man of the moment. He's not able to step up to this moment. Poppin does take him down. Sight's been taken. Kane's Zera getting exposed, but hold on now. 7 around the corner, able to pull off a big frag, and there is Ion getting pulled to his death. It is round coming back towards the way of TSM.
Really able to hold on to that from the backside, and granted, you do have a lot of pressure with that Annihilation and Bladestorm, for that matter, in tow. But even still, the last ability that TSM continue to project on site as GMD goes for the long game, heading around the back, taking the pot shots as he goes. Able to grab one as he fades out. And all you can really play from are those extremities and the site, but TSM holding down the ladder too effectively for the former to get really active.
And we're finally seeing a bit of a switch up here for Envy. We almost never see these guys going over towards A early. And for good reason. 7, he's been living over here over on this A side. Little do they know Tejo is still here too. But Kane, he's got to scrap through. He's trying to find Sim. Sim's trying to find anything, but it's not going to be able to happen. Player over in the corner. My goodness! Oh my goodness! What was that reaction from 7? And 4 is here for the cleanup. One more remaining and he is gone. I need that angle right now. I don't know if it's possible. It's probably not possible. But that flick from 7 does everything there for TSM.
And good thing too, because by all accounts, the round was going pretty perfectly for Envy up until that point. Barrier mesh placed at the perfect time after all the chaos on site had already been caused after Eggster and Kane were already doing so much of the damage on. But 7 holding it down on top of that corner, and then Vora immediately replacing and grabbing 2 more for himself.
So
two
good.
hero moments that define this round for TSM's defense and keep them stable in it just a little bit longer. They have the Armageddon coming into this round too, so they can continue to play mega preventative.
You can see that effect here for Envy. Envy needing to spread out. They can't get cooped up with the Annihilation coming in from the Tejo, but Sim has that mid side, able to pick away one onto Aspire. Inspire, again, he has been annoying over towards that mid side, but almost never do we have that mid watch actually being able to find him. He returns to the mid side and he gets taken down. 7 here with a single frag. Yes, the site is being taken here by Envy. But 7, he's still under right now. There goes the Annihilation. It just clears everyone into the back of sight. But what is this now? What is this now? Sim, he's scrambling a little bit.
Don't do this.
Okay, head scratcher for sure, but the round's far from over. GMD already on the front lines, looking for Poppin. Poppin showing ahead. His teammate is still a little bit far. Recoil can't trade for anything here. Poppin gonna go for a dart. GMD, he hasn't been recovered yet. He hasn't been spotted. Swap out here for the solo alongside Kane. Kane, he's gonna get taken down by Recoil. One-on-one clean. Shotgun comes in. The shorty does it for Recoil. And the impact man does it again. Recoil, far from the flashiest stats, but it has the flashiest plays so far.
Just the chutzpah that Envy continues to rock with every time as they come into this. It was a pitiful buy on the attack, all things considered. Everybody's so half-hearted, and the barrier mesh fully protecting 7 as TSM fully gets to rotate with all the time in the world, and then somehow, some way, Cainzera, excuse me, and Poppin get active again. Look at Poppin. Idea Man is always trying to let this Hunter's Fury fly to make sure that Recoil isn't sticking behind and is wrapped all the way back around. Just so well read to get them just one more bloody chance in a round like that, but you got just enough to get you through if you're TSM. Now 7-5, walking into the attack. Envy, they have their pick of the litter with the playbook at the moment, in my opinion. The ubiquity is 100% on their side composition-wise, so this will still be an uphill battle for TSM.
The first battle here for TSM in this half. Sim versus his twin Kane. Kane over towards Cat, not able to find the pick, but again, TSM way too spread apart right now for them to really be much of an info grab here for Envy. And good thing here for Envy, they're playing with one of the most basic comps that you could see here in Valorant. I mean, there's not much info grab to really be had. You're playing with a double duelist, playing with double spear, basically just roaming the map. So Envy just really relying on these individuals, and the individual who has been the absolute best today and get shut down immediately. But good stuff from Exter. Able to pick up one with some more damage onto another. 7 is extremely low. Huge picks coming on to Ion. Ion was getting picked behind the smoke. Exter, do they know where he is? 7 still on the look, though. Does not matter. Inspire and Pop in the last 2.
Full coverage on this side, and the ubiquity goes the way of 7 this time around, with that grav net continuing to just scare the pants off of anybody rocking just a pistol. Poppin, World on his shoulders to let Inspire come in clean. See if he can get anything done in the meantime. Recon Bolt in his hands. Inspire has found Recoil lacking here, but no one else from TSM will be. Far too much on Poppin's plate on site. It'll be the 1v3 with very minimal time. Inspire can't lock down the first shot, and so he will take his last shortly after. TSM overwhelm and conquer to open the pistol round.
A great attempt there from Envy. I mean, if the man on site wasn't getting pinged through smoke, I mean, that's everything. It had to be 7 coming out of main to get that kill. It was fully behind cover. So great aim, great map knowledge here from 7. But otherwise, again, Envy, they're relying on these one-on-ones right now. They're relying on some of these individuals, at least in that last round. It is just the pistol round. We can't make too many sweeping commendations. But again, this is
cover going out.
Sort of signs of things here for Envy. Signs of what their util actually has for them to work with. Again, you need the bodies. You need the eyes to catch your opponents. You only have a dart alongside a drone for the info grab for this side. So at TSM, yes. Even though you are looking at a camera on the other side for Envy, again, that is static. Nothing free-flowing for this team. And TSM seems to be pretty mobile right now. Seems like the information is going to be scattered, to say the least.
Yeah, they can move house at sort of whatever point. And with Vora's kit being so endless, he can field all of this attention this round. All the while, keep making that noise. Keep 3 members of Envy locked up over here. And mind you, Cainzera is solely watching Market Swing with the shorty. So effectively, you only got one guy able to properly fight this out. And Poppin, hell, he's holding a shorty too. Gravnet's going to cover him as well, so it's got to be as committal as can be. Recoil can't knock it.
Reloaded.
On the reload, he's got time, but 7 shuts it down, and TSM have got sight.
Okay.
30
Bora.
seconds left.
Bora. Okay, cool. Good pick. Nice. Good stuff. Frags are coming back here for TSM. They are the ones. They have the rifles. Envy are the ones retaking with the pistols. Fairly obvious. And of course, TSM, they did face a little bit of drama. But this next round, it is going to be the big response here for Envy. Are we going to see sort of that aggression here from this Envy side? See the duelists get unlocked in this next round. Inspire, he was the one let off the leash in the last half. Let's see, of course, if Exeter and Kane's Era can start to pad their stats, something that they've been doing basically all series.
It's got to be on Kane's Era to be the one to find the wanton picks. I expect him to be a little more fluid from the mid swing this time without just that shorty in hand. When it comes to Exeter, he's really got to be the interceptor, the one to give these pushes from TSM a big old bear hug and enough time and frags in the meantime to let the rest of Envy come knocking and respond in kind. Proper setup here in Wine for that to happen, at least on the A swing. The TSM, they're more heavily weighted towards B with that spike in tow.
Cheeky stuff happening here for TSM. You see GMD of the skies here, standing on top of half wall over towards A, but still
Portal closed.
is going to be Exeter that can't find the pixel just yet. Resmoke, double resmoke came out from the Omen. TSM, they're actually liking this look over towards A. GMD not hearing or finding anything. And this is interesting here. TSM, they barely show an eye over towards B, but Envy, look how hard they bit onto it. 3 players over towards that B site. Stopping power here on A, spotty at best. Let's see what the attempt is. Let's see if Exeter can get an early frag and make this possible for him alongside Ion.
Exeter gonna get revealed early on here, so he'll take his step back. That'll proc the smoke from Ion. They've confirmed the 2 here. Sim still gonna step on. It's the setup that's gotta work, and Exeter holding close for 1. Sim steps on and deals with Ion quite swiftly, but Kane's Era already here to react, and you know he's gonna fight at least a little bit. Finds Bora, and then is able to fade away as well to turn this to a 3v3.
He needed that. He needed all of that. Beautiful play from Kane, equalizing it down to a 3-on-3 with that one play, giving his team a chance now. Popping with the drone. No, he doesn't check his back. He is going to be able to spot the one behind him, but it doesn't matter for now. Sim able to take away Kane. Inspire, they know at least that one of these players are back over towards Cat, and unfortunately the double pop through the smoke just was not going to happen. GMD, so many smokes. Again, just being annoying here on this post plant. And Envy losing out on their chances here to try to stay tit for tat here with TSM. TSM, they're going to face against Pistols in this next round. After this, if they're able to take things cleanly, only 2 rounds away from going to playoffs.
The snowball is already really starting to roll here, and Envy, this could come out to be their weakest map so far this year. If TSM is able to get away with rolling it all the way down the hill before another round is picked up. And TSM, to their credit, they are adjusting their play style to react to Envy extremely effectively at the moment, getting just ahead of those angles, getting just ahead of those timings that Envy is prepared to go for. It is a very admirable response time from them every single time. And Envy, while they still had players in the right spots and good reaction positions, and God, you know they've killed, they will continue to kill. TSM have enough to get over the line and will definitely still, this round, it'll be a hell of a climb that Envy want to at least scrap some money away from as they go this round to make these last couple rounds of regulation as stomachable as possible on the defense.
Again, we have to keep paying attention to the duelists here. These 2 players were so pivotal for this map going well for this team in the past. Kane's Era, Exeter. They are going to be able to find some sort of early interaction back over towards A main, but there's not going to be much to talk about here for TSM. This is the most disconnected that we've seen TSM from the choke points so far in this half, and Envy, they've been getting more and more brave in these choke points. You've seen Exeter playing a little bit more over towards main, but it makes sense this time. It's pistols alongside the shotgun. They're trying to go for cheeky stuff. TSM feels it. Again, no ultis here for Envy to try to throw a spanner into the works. TSM, clean for now. This is more or less how you wanted to see Envy play throughout this whole half. But TSM, they've still been able to find some early info onto these guys and still be able to pick away a one-on-one before the side exec comes in. This time, though, it is going to be Kane's Era, holding down a spot, holding down an angle, able to pick away at one. How many more? How much more extra credit can we get here for Envy on these pistols?
Lot dumped onto him early on, and they'll still spray through the smoke for it. Kane even still takes the fight almost by himself, and now the rest of Envy here to play on top of it, and Poppin will get one for himself as well. The sprays are still good for TSM to keep 2 rifles on the board, but guess what? Envy just might now have 2 as well, as TSM have to change course and barrel to the weaker side, which is B, but Inspire still holding, and no doubt it'll have to get checked here by 7 at least. No, watching behind him, and that's an easy one. Inspire, 1v1, and the rest of Envy on the way. He does not need it. A Thrifty at the perfect time for Envy. Whatever they said in the timeout, it worked.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That's a little bit of the switch up that we were looking for there for Envy, to say the very least. cainzera steps up to the plate, picks himself 2 frags to start off the round. TSM can't do anything about the fiery fraggers that this Envy team has. If they're actually picking up the early frags, if they are winning those early duels, Envy is an unstoppable train at this point. TSM needs to do a lot to come back against this team in any round, apparently, even with the pistols. Here comes TSM. They aren't exactly running out on cash. They're going to have another buy after this, but Envy, pivotal round to keep themselves in this one as Exter starts it off right, one-on-one in mid. cainzera uses his Vandal like an operator, picks away at one in the mid side, 2-man advantage for Envy.
Just like that, the duelists are in their element again. Eggster capping off an eco by just flashing himself in solo and getting one for free, now planting himself. cainzera doesn't even need the flash, steps out for his 2. Is all it took that one mental break, that one soul reset? The way that Envy players have been talking, the way that they've been trying to sculpt their mental states going into these matches so that they don't lose that momentum, so that they don't gain too much of an ego, the signs are really starting to show, especially if this run continues, but TSM have crept all the way up mid by this point.
Taken out.
This would be a big crack to try to pick out here for TSM if they were able to get the pick here onto Poppin, but it's not going to happen. One-on-one between Poppin and 7. Vora alongside Exter potentially, but Vora is going to back up on this one. I was saying the eco for TSM was still clean for another buy here, but it's going to be a shaky buy at best here. 7 does need
10 seconds left.
this rifle to be held up here. Everyone else does have the eco to work with, but that's a big one. Another huge W here for Envy. That is going to kind of evade almost the automatic round there for TSM to keep it at 11-5. We're at 10-7 now. Envy creeping.
Obviously not things that Envy players can get away with every round, I say, knowing they probably still can. But it's not like you're going to see Eggster and cainzera do those same things. You're going to see them double back with their team. You're going to see them go for these better set plays and retake options, especially now that those ults are cycled back up again. When there's more in the tank, you will see Envy stop going for that scrappy fighting that they were known for as rankers as often. It'll still remain the heart and soul of how they duel at the end of the day, but they are so much more intelligent than the doubters want you to believe, and they always will be. TSM still 3 rounds up, still have the guns to make this work, still have a lot of ults to push and corral Envy any which way. Is it enough at this point?
Well, they know about Ion. There's the Annihilation to take him away from that backside, spreads him to the front, but here comes Exter. Exter standing in the front of sight. cainzera on an island, and it's all his. Able to take away one. Surely a second one is coming, but he has teammates to clean it up, and Kane is the one that gets all of them. 8-10, still going towards the way of TSM, but Envy have found life here on the defensive side, finally winning some rounds. They win 3 in a row.
We were on the verge of saying that this map would be a new low, not just for Envy, but for cainzera. And within 3 rounds, here once again, he stands as the top frag for the team. Completely capable of handling everything TSM had to throw there. And that double senti setup is so aggressive on this A side as well. Terrifying to walk into, but to stick around for, not nearly as tough. If you're not moving on those vines, it's not very difficult. And Kane and Eggster had no intention of leaving until they got theirs.
Everything I've been asking for. These two, they need to be the double prongs for Envy. They need to be the linchpins for Envy That is just the way that this utility is set up. For the retakes, you can still rely on that utility, but the way that TSM has been playing, the way that these fraggers have been able to be efficient in the early round, they need the early interactions. They need to be in the right spots. They found it in the last round. This one now, Envy. They don't look comfortable here in this B side. It's going to be a smoke, potentially in the face of Kane. Kane, though, needing to back out.
It's Steel Garden that nets TSM the whole of the site, and they'll continue to try to play keep away with the help of this barrier mesh. Sim cannot get active with the Blade Storm just yet, though, and so TSM have to play for the fight that Envy know that they have every intention of starting.
Is going to step up, but here comes Exter. Exter coming in with the Yoru ulti, and Seven's going to be taken down by Kane. The front of side has been taken up, but here comes in the back. Recoil is going to be the insurance option. GMD just holding on to it until they can get there, and Recoil is here. Recoil takes away Poppin. Exter still trying to poke away at sight, and it is going to be the kill from Exter. What? I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Dude.
Ion, how did he get two there?
Run it back, please?
Please! That's 9 for Envy.
Every moment is one that Envy can prowl on. And Ion,
Wow.
the perfect interception once again. It's because he's a little farther up than you expect, isn't it? That's always what it is at the end of the day. He's always a little bit ahead of you. Everybody on Envy at double digits at this point now. After a really clean retake like that. That was just so tremendous. Dimensional drift into the op dry swing by Kane alone. That speaks to how these two duelists continue to be leveled up in the tail end of this map. But then the kills ring through. GMD is unchecked momentarily. He has so much of this corner space in B lane that has to get re-cleared. And Envy, they're reset for a moment. They're stunted. And all too often that has led to their full demise. And then they reset. Then they get that sight back. Then Ion steps up to the challenge a little early and everything comes up their way.
Wow!
Talk to me, so nice.
Oh, sweet nothings. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Envy! Making this 3-0 matchup exactly what it needs to be. Thin margins between these two teams. These two teams went at it in the 3-0 match in the last stage. Not a lot, you could say, separates these two teams, but Envy showing some levels of maturity. Here comes TSM. Another attempt with the rifles. Envy disconnected from this A site. No coverage back over towards tree. So this is realistically going to be the first time where TSM has less surprises on this A site. The real surprise here is going to be in the hands of Inspire. How many pings can he get? Where's the spray going to come in for Ion? Here we go.
Sim step on first. Not caught, except by the trap. Inspire opens for one from Hell. And Envy, they're here for the full-blown fight. They are here to fully play. And it's just too much in your way. You just need a ping if you've got 5 blades in your hands. And now you've got a tie game on the docket here. Both teams 3 rounds out from first seed in the playoffs. Are you not entertained?
Arms wide open, as we say that. TSM have now been grinded into the dust now. They have nothing in their wallets to be able to buy with. And this one, again, you gotta give it up to Envy and that communication. Yes, it might have been a little bit of an early call, but that rotation comes in so strong for Envy. TSM, no chance. As things got even more chaotic there on site. And here we go. 15 seconds have already gone by in this round. TSM, they have 4 players coming up that mid side. Inspire. Cheeky setup for the cam. Gonna set up a cage in front of him for that information for him to start spraying through if there is anyone. Here's one. He's not going for it just yet. He's going for the 50-50 with the cage. You still have one here on site, and Ion is just done for. Good stuff coming out from the Cypher, coming out for the rest of the team. But hold on now. Sim able to get himself one. This is gonna be huge for Kane alongside Poppin. Off comes out. No shot on Devora. and things have become a lot less dramatic. Poppin', 1-on-3. Might be known here. He drops in. Actually gets the kill onto one, but Recoil has been so sharp again on those trades. And of all rounds for TSM to take, it's that one.
It's a string of split decisions for Envy. That's their downfall. First, Inspire trying to do-si-do with these cyber cages in the tree take that TSM goes for a little early. Tries to once again slow this attacking team down so that Envy can fully rotate on top of it. But after another split decision from Ion trying to proc the Gravnet that hit him, 7 swings on top of it, and instantly advantage is fully TSM's. They're able to ride with it, cruise with it, all the way to a round win over the line to help them across the rest of regulation and give them another sign of life here in the last map of the match, the last map for one of these teams in the Swiss stage.
Not for any bad reasons, by the way. For good reasons.
Right, for good reasons, for good reasons.
Exter. We have not seen anyone in wine. At least he's whining and dining us first before giving us
right, he is taking us out to dinner first, actually.
Yeah, no, literally. Thanks, Exter. Appreciate that. Feel comfortable now. I feel warmed up. Now,
yeah. Give us a show, buddy.
Party. Oh yeah, there you go. Exter, there's the spark plug you need. What a kill.
Well, we'll just take over wine while we can, but rest of Envy is here for the show now. It doesn't have to be Exter. In fact, I don't know if it can be with that Gravnet tossed by 7. Aggression back onto him actually as well, Matt. Huge amount of damage done. TSM second guessing as they have to push through the smoke at this point. It's do or die. 30 seconds on the clock.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is everything here for Envy. Envy, so much damage done and no ultimates expended.
I'll make them remember they're only human.
Very clear cut at that point. But it's the Exter show that round, surely. After all that stall, all that spray, all that cheese,
all that hype,
that rat gets out scot-free and we get the whole Envy here for the rest of the game. That has to be played out because the clock has fully run its course. TSM ran out of options, both artificially and naturally now.
Oh my goodness.
And the eco reset almost will be their downfall a little early here, but they're gonna try and make it work now.
It's a semblance of a buy here, but what is this from Kane? Kane looking for one and is gonna find Recoil.
No doubt in my mind. And now once again, TSM forced to press on it, this time way earlier. So you've got GMD on his own little island for now. No one can work off of him, and he can barely work off of the B push right now. He can't really effectively turn around after all of this noise that Envy is making up in a tree hold. He'll hear those steps taken by Kane. He hears that TP set up. He's got to stick around. Poppin, proactive with the Hunter's Fury. Kane Zero proactive with the op shot, and now it's just that B push.
Again, the smokes here on side are from the Omen. The Omen came in from Cat. It could be a fake here, but these players don't care. Vora tries to make it possible, but Envy down in the depths. 10-5 has been made into a 12-11 going their way. Now they're 1 round away from playoffs once again. TSM, they were left with almost nothing in the last round once again. They still forced out a semblance of a bye. Now they're doing the exact same once again. It's just a whiff of a bye here. They do have a couple of rifles, but it's not the rifles you want. TSM, this is it if they do want that first seed.
Once again, on the precipice of holding on to this map. TSM has got to do it. Bones and all. Tough timing for Recoil, holding this Sheriff on the Cat. TSM seeing if anybody from Envy gets antsy. No noise just yet.
Locating targets.
No information early on. That's a huge piece of utility getting burned. At least they're able to make their way into tree. They still don't know about tree itself, though. Kane. Huge shots already cut things down for TSM. TSM down to 4, but that is a massive pick from Sim. This is all Inspire, and Inspire is gone. Nobody else here on A site. TSM have given themselves a chance. Exter, he's been holding on to this ulti forever now, and now he's able to use it. Bursting his way into sight, trying to make his way into the back lines. He's going over towards main. He spots Recoil. Kane at the same time with a big pick. Here goes the battle. Exter somehow beats out Recoil, and Kane comes in flying. It's all Vora, and it is all Envy.
Kane Zera, tired at this point. Immovable object on the operator in these concluding rounds of Ascent defense. When nothing else was the same for Envy, TSM had answers for seemingly every play, every trade, every hold.